If you want the Bears to bounce back and beat the Lions this week, let's change the vibes. Hit that like button on today's show. We're moving past Minnesota. We are on to Detroit. Time to get back to 500 and get on the winning path. So hit that like button if you want to see that happen. All right, I'm Harrison Graham. This is Chicago Bears Now. Time for our Bears-Lions preview. Detroit, a healthy 5.5-point favorite. The over-under in this game is set at 47.5 points. You look at what each team did in week one. We know what happened at Soldier Field. The Bears were seemingly in control. Not full control. They failed to put this game away on multiple occasions. They had a multitude of chances to make this a 3-score game. They could not do it. And obviously, they got hammered in the fourth quarter by J.J. McCarthy and company. Got to flush it and get ready for this game. Detroit, they got hammered from start to finish by the Green Bay Packers. That game was 27-6 with 2 minutes left before they scored a garbage time touchdown. They did not look the same offensively for one game without Ben Johnson. Now, Green Bay is obviously very good. It was on the road. I still think Detroit's a very good team. I did pick the Lions to win this division, but maybe you're catching them at the right time where 2 new coordinators still kind of feeling things out. Maybe you can pull off a little bit of a mini upset victory here in week 2. This is a critical game, man. Loser falls to 0-2 and is behind the 8 ball in the NFC North. I mean, let's face it. This is a game that the Bears need is a strong word, but like if they don't get it, you know, your playoff chances plummet significantly. The statistics are out there for teams that start 0-2. It is not good for those who start that way and have a chance of making the playoffs. It lowers significantly. All right, let's take a look at the latest injury reports. These from Thursday afternoon. No changes from the Bears. Yesterday's or Wednesdays, I should say, were estimates, obviously, but they were accurate. Kyler Gordon, Grady Jarrett both did not practice. We'll see what they do here on Friday when it comes to playing in this game or not. I'm not super optimistic, but maybe one of these two can go. We'll see. Roschon Johnson limited with the foot. Does he get back on the field this Sunday? That would be nice just to have another body at running back. Jahdae Walker, not sure when he got banged up in the game on Sunday, but he's dealing with an ankle. He was limited as well. TJ Edwards limited with the hammy. Would really be nice if he could go in this one. Noah Sewell, I thought, played admirably, but he kind of gets lost in coverage, so having TJ out there would be good. Josh Blackwell could be in line to play some nickel if Kyler's not available. Obviously, you have Nick McLeod as well. He was limited, so keep an eye on Blackwell. And then DJ Moore, good to go. And Jalen Johnson, like we said on Thursday's episode, said he plans to play on Sunday. For the Lions, I think the player to watch is Taylor Decker. Now, John Morton said that they expect him to play, but he has not practiced yet this week with the shoulder. It sounds like they're kind of just in pain managing that thing, so could be one of those where he just doesn't practice much, but he plays on Sunday. Jack Campbell, he was a no participant on Wednesday, but did practice in full on Thursday, so it appears he is good to go. Terrion Arnold, Daniel Thomas, full participants as well, so Taylor Decker really the only name to monitor for Detroit. Obviously, the Ben Johnson return, revenge game angle, whatever you want to call it, is a notable storyline. He was asked about it. A Lions reporter came down to Halas Hall this week and peppered him with 3 or 4 questions. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Dan Campbell have talked about it this week as well. It's going to be an interesting scene when Ben Johnson returns to Ford Field on Sunday. This is what Ben had to say. He said, "My mind is going to be on winning the football game. Us going out there, finding our first victory of the season. It'll be a tough environment. That place has turned into one of the strongest home field advantage places in the NFL. We'll have our work cut out for us, and we'll find out a lot about ourselves." Yeah, it's certainly a good challenge, and I agree with him. Ford Field has become an excellent home field advantage. It gets loud inside that dome, and it's going to be loud on Sunday. It's going to be raining boos when Ben Johnson got out there. Don't take my word for it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the faces of the Lions, said as soon as Ben walks in there, we're booing him. I don't give a bleep. We are all booing him when it comes to Ben Johnson. Dan Campbell said we're going to win this game. We have to. So, Dan and Ben are friends, and I don't think Dan holds a grudge, but I do think there was a small part of like, it had to be Chicago. He had to stay in the division, and obviously Ben has made it clear like he loves Chicago. He wanted to come to the Bears. He wanted to be in this division and have the challenge of going up against these other teams. I will say this. I expect Detroit to play a lot better this week than they did against the Packers. They are way too talented to just roll over like they did in week one. Listen to their words. They're very motivated for this game, not only to get their first win of the season, but to go up against Ben Johnson and be like, hey, yeah, you were a big part of our success, but you weren't everything. So if you're Chicago, you better bring your A game, because anything less of that, it's going to be a tough uphill battle throughout that contest. Who do you guys got winning this game? Type CHI for the Bears, DET for the Lions. Detroit, obviously a 5.5-point favorite. I will have my score prediction and result at the end of this video, but let me know who you guys have winning this game. All right, who has the edge? 8 categories we take a look at every single week. Head coach, you have to say the Lions. I mean, Dan Campbell's gone to an NFC Championship game. He won 15 games last year. He turned the Detroit Lions around. Ben Johnson has coached 1 game as a head coach. So clearly you're going to give the advantage to Dan Campbell in Detroit there. Quarterback, you're going to give the advantage to Jared Goff and the Lions. Now, Jared Goff did not play that well in week 1 in any individual game. Caleb Williams is certainly capable of outplaying Jared Goff, but it would be naive to say that the Bears have the advantage here. Skill groups. I'll go push. I think that the Lions' running back situation is certainly better, but I think the Bears are deeper at receiver and tight end. I think the Bears' top 4 receivers are very good with DJ Rome, Luther, and Olamide Zaccheaus. Obviously, St. Brown and Jamison Williams are very good as well. Isaac Tesla's coming on. Sam Laporte is a hell of a player, but the Bears have 2 really good tight ends. So I'll go push. I think it's within the stratosphere of one another. Same with the offensive line, which is actually nice to say. You could argue in week 1 the Bears' O-line actually played a little bit better, even though it wasn't as good as we had probably hoped. Jonah Jackson and Drew Dahlman had some struggles, but Joe Thuney played really well, obviously. Darnell Wright was very good. That Lions interior is vulnerable. So I'll go push. I think both units have capabilities of being very good. Right now, both are probably just above average units. Okay, defensive line, push. I think they're clearly better on the edge. With Aiden Hutchinson. They have the best defensive lineman in this game in Aiden Hutchinson, but Javon Dexter popped in week 1. You have Montez Sweat, Dio Adengbo. We'll see about Grady Jarrett's status, obviously. We'll see if Andrew Billings can play better this week, but I'll go push on the defensive line. Linebackers, I'll go Lions, but if Jack Campbell doesn't play, it probably shifts more toward a push. TJ Edwards' status is obviously a big part of this as well. I don't think there's a huge gap here, but if Campbell and Anzalone go, I will give them the slight advantage. Secondary, push. I think their safeties are better. The Bears' corners are better. That's assuming everyone's healthy, so I'll go push in that regard. And then special teams, Bears special teams in week 1 were a joke, so I cannot give them the benefit of the doubt on that. Last year, the Bears had great special teams, but in the preseason it wasn't great, and in week 1 it wasn't very good at all. Torrey Taylor didn't punt the ball that well. Cairo missed a field goal, almost missed the second one, and the return game and coverage units weren't anything special. In fact, the coverage units were pretty bad, so I have to give the advantage to Detroit. I didn't give the Bears a clear advantage in any of those categories. Again, I don't think these are like wide gaps in a lot of these position groups, but on paper, let's be honest, the Lions are the better team. They won 15 games last year, but a lot of coaching changes, didn't look good in week 1. I do think Chicago is catching them at a decent time to maybe have a chance to pull this off. Today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Football is back and better than ever, and I'm launching PrizePicks into the universe every single day, several lineups per week. It's very easy to play PrizePicks. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money on certain lineups. This is just a 2x lineup. Travis Kelce, more than half a receiving yard on this max discount play offered this week by PrizePicks. Take advantage of it. I've paired that with Caleb Williams, more than half a passing touchdown. I ran that play last week on a max discount, 2-player lineup, 20 to win 40. Hit it last week, feeling good about hitting it this week as well. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Take advantage of the flex play as well. That means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. That was invented by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, let's get to some keys to victory now. Number one, get the running game going. The Bears were dead last in run game success last week. You see that little line at the bottom? That would be the old Chicago Bears, as they were dead last in success rate, which is just an advanced analytical stat. 19%, 32nd in the NFL. Tough challenge. Minnesota's very good defensively, but you got to get more out of DeAndre Swift. Ben Johnson also said that he plans to give Kyle Monangai some carries this week, so hopefully that will help as well. What I will say is this, especially early in the season, while Caleb is still clearly going through some growing pains here, if Chicago can't run the ball, I think it's going to be trouble. I just don't think Caleb Williams is in a position to carry this thing. He can make some big plays. We saw it in the opener, but it's probably still going to be a little inconsistent. You know what helps calm everything down? Just handing the ball off, churning out some yards that way. So hopefully they can have more success doing that this week. I don't anticipate Detroit being as effective as stopping the run as Minnesota was, but I think some of it too is Ben's just got to be patient with it and continue to run the football. Okay, number two, Caleb's just got to be more accurate. Too many missed throws where the pocket's clean, he delivers the ball, and it's off target. Ben Johnson and Caleb both said this week that those inaccurate passes, a lot of the time that's footwork based. Well, it's got to get cleaned up then. I don't know what to say. That 4th and 3, I don't know how to explain that miss to DJ Moore. I've said that multiple times this week. Look, he started 10 for 10, went 11 for his last 25. That is a major dip within the form of a game. Negative 13.2% completion over expected in week 1. That was tied with Bryce Young for 31st. It's just not good enough. You got to cut those misses in half. I'm not saying you need to go out there and be Joe Burrow and go complete 79% of your passes or something crazy. 60% though, the target is 70. I was realistic and let's say, hey, let's shoot for 65. Last year he was at 62.5 for the season. That would be a 2.5%, 3% increase. I think that's achievable. Too many just misses in week 1. You're not going to make every throw, but you got to cut some of those down. Let's cut them in half. If you have 6 bad misses in a game, let's shoot for 3 the next game. Like we got to make incremental growth here on just the normal misses that he's been having, dating back to last year. Okay, interior defensive line must dominate. If you're going to win this game, you got to do what Green Bay did, and that's stuff the run. Now, 20 carries for 44 yards between Gibbs and Montgomery, that might not be realistic 2 weeks in a row, but you got to contain those guys like they were contained in week 1. Again, we're not sure as of filming this on Grady Jarrett's status, but I thought Gervon Dexter had a good week 1. Need Andrew Billings to play better when he's out there. He got pushed around. I know there's been questions about the scheme fit there, but he's got to be an impactful piece. But the Lions' interior O-line in week 1 struggled in run blocking and pass pro, really across the board. Mahogany, Glasgow, Ratledge, it's a brand new interior for Detroit. Got to take advantage. Those guys are still trying to come into their own as a young trio on the interior. They allowed 9 pressures against Green Bay, which if you can get some interior pressure too on Jared Goff, not just the run game, you get Goff off his spot, he really struggles. He's not the same guy when he has to start thinking about moving around because he's just not athletic, and he does not throw a good ball when he's outside of the pocket. So if you can get him to move around, which ultimately will probably lead to some sacks too because he's not going to escape for long given his lack of mobility, then that's going to give you a lot more success to get off the field, get the football back to the offense. All right, a couple more here. Minimize the pre-snap penalties. Jesus had 4 false starts in the first half, had a motion issue late in the game. It was at least 5 pre-snap penalties, might have been 6. It just can't happen, man. You got to get these plays off the ground. I get there's a lot going on with these play calls, and it's an advanced offense. Well, maybe some of that's on Ben too. Like let's scale it back a little bit if we need to. You just can't kill yourself in these drives with these false starts, man. I mean, the first drive you go straight down the field. second, third, and fourth drive, you're moving it every time, but you're going backwards with these penalties, and it's hard to overcome, especially when it's a new offense and like everything's not firing on all cylinders. Don't give the defense free yardage, which is negative yardage for you. It just cannot happen. So that is a big area I'm watching this week. And listen, they're on the road, which means they're going to use a silent count more. Maybe that's a good thing. That it's not going to be super cadence driven, which probably led to some of those false starts. Okay, lastly, Outscheme the Lions. And the reason I just mentioned that in general is, what did we say earlier? The Lions have a better roster than the Bears. That's okay to admit. On paper, they are a better team. But I think Ben Johnson is an offensive play caller and designer, and Dennis Allen is a defensive play caller and coordinator and designer, are better scheme coaches than what the Lions have in John Morton and Kelvin Shepard. Kelvin Shepard is first-time DC. John Morton, first-time OC. Week 1, their offense looked pretty vanilla, right? I think, when you're undermanned, I'm not saying it's a wide gap roster-wise, but it is a gap. I think the ways you can get around that is by out-scheming. And I think the Bears have better scheme coaches. I'm not saying they're a better coaching staff. Like Dan Campbell, you would say, is the coach out of these two teams you would take over any other coach. But I do think you can scheme some things up to create some mismatches and advantages in your favor. So hopefully they're able to do that at a better rate than they did in week 1. All right, predict the score. Here we go. Bears-Lions. Week 2 is upon us as it's a big game. 0-1 for both of these teams. I got Detroit 27-21. I think the Bears got to prove it to us, man. I'm not saying like we have fallen into some major trap after one game that they weren't able to close, but like they got to earn our trust. And they didn't earn it week 1. They could have. They had chances to. I think Detroit's better on paper. It's on the road. They're motivated for this game. I think the Bears will be motivated too. I'm not saying it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be a good game, but I'm going to go Detroit here until proven otherwise. So Lions 27, Bears 21. I would love to be wrong here, but I've got Chicago falling to 0-2. All right, that's it for this preview for Week 2. Again, hopefully I am wrong. We will be live on Sunday for Bears versus Lions. Our pregame show starts probably 10:45 a.m. Central Time with kickoff at noon Central. Hopefully the Bears can get on the board and get to 1-1 on the season. Hopefully you guys will join us. My name is Harrison Graham. Bear down.